Live from the Twin Cities, this is Nighttime's Variety with Michelle Barber.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nighttime's Variety. Tonight's show will be bringing you some classic show tunes from some of Twin Cities' finest actors and musicians. With us this evening is actor Guy Paul, who will be doing a couple of numbers from his one-man Noel Coward review. And also the Knight Henley Band is with us tonight, which is a group that is led by two of Minnesota's top recording artists, Mark Henley and Lonnie Knight. And to begin the evening right now, I would like to introduce you to these fine gentlemen who are seated with me. This is the Cricket Theater's musical director, Jimmy Martin, and vocalist George Leighton, who this spring is going to be joining Beverly Sills in the New York City Opera Company this spring. And George and I are going to start the show right now by doing a tune together. Since my opera repertoire is limited to Granada in the Shower, that's my own line, I made it up, we're going to try something a little different right now. It's a nice face, as faces go. It's a very nice face, with a place for every feature in its place, not a commonplace face.
Her eyes clear, her chin lovely but strong, her ears are ordinary ears, her nose a trifle long.
Still, it's a gentle face, a little square, a little corny.
It's a sentimental face. Here's a girl I've only met.
Here's a man I could forget. Yet, I won't make this a federal case.
It's just another pretty face.
But it's a very, very, very nice face. Thank you. George, the job that you are doing with Beverly Sills with the New York City Opera, how did that come about?
Well, one day, a few months back, Beverly Sills' secretary called me on the phone.
Sure, George?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yep.
Oh, sure, George. And it turned out to be Beverly Sills. And she wanted me to come with the company to Kennedy Center in the spring.
When this spring?
Around April. It'll
What
be
are you
April,
doing
but I don't know the...
What are you doing until April?
Tosca, a guest artist with the new Opera St. Paul Company, February 5th. And then my theater company, Brass Tacks, is opening up at Hennepin Center for the Arts.
Soon to move to Kennedy Center.
This Thursday. And a new show, The Hypnotist by Patty Lynch.
Good. The song that you're going to do for us now is from the musical 1776. Can you set this song up a little bit for us?
Yes, it concerns, well, the song is Molasses to Rum, and it concerns an argument between John Adams and Edward Rutledge, and it deals with the hypocrisy of money and slavery because Thomas Jefferson wants slavery abolished, and Edward Rutledge, who, my part, doesn't want it to happen at all. He wants slaves.
All right, well, I'll let you get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome once again Jimmy Martin on piano and George Leighton with the song Molasses to Rum.
Molasses to rum to slaves. Oh, what a beautiful waltz. You danced with us, we danced with you in molasses and rum and slaves. Who sails the ships out of Boston, laden with Bibles and rum. Who drinks a toast to the Ivory Coast? Hail Africa, the slavers have come. New England with Bibles and rum. Then it's off with the rum and the Bibles. Take on the slaves, clink, clink. Then hail and farewell to the smell of the African coast. Molasses to rum to slaves. 'Tisn't morals, 'tis money that saves. Shall we dance to the sound of the profitable pound in molasses and rum and slaves? Who sail the ships out of Guinea, laden with Bibles and slaves? 'Tis Boston can boast to the West Indies coast. Jamaica, we brung what she craves. Antigua, Barbados, we brung Bibles and slaves. Hurry, gentlemen, let the auction begin. Yaha, yaha, Makunda. Gentlemen, do you hear? That's the cry of the auctioneer. Yaha, yaha, Makunda. Slaves, black gold, living gold, gold from Angola, Guinea, 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 blackbirds for sale, Ashanti, Igbo, Igbo, Igbo. Handle them, fondle them, but don't finger them. Their prime, their prime. Yaha. To rum, to slaves. Who sails the ships back to Boston, laden with gold, see it gleam? Whose fortunes are made in the triangle trade? Hail slavery, the New England dream. Mr. Adams, I give you a toast. Hail Boston, hail Charleston, who stinketh the most.
Thank you, George, and good luck to you, too. I'm talking right now with the Cricket Theater's musical director, Jimmy Martin. Jimmy, how long have you and George Leighton worked together?
Well, since the first time he did a show for me about a year ago, so then we've been doing things on and off.
What kind of a show was that?
It was a benefit performance we did to try to raise money for a show we wrote about Hubert Humphrey.
I see. Now, you yourself have written 5 musicals. Were they all full-length musicals?
Yes, they were. John Davidson did the lyrics in the book, and I did the music. And we're trying to produce one of them now.
Have any of them been produced?
Well, 2 of them. One about Red Wing, Minnesota, and another one that John did. I just worked a little bit on that one. That was about Avenue Follies, which is modern day. We've done one about the Count of Monte Cristo and about Floyd B. Olson, governor of Minnesota, and we get around a little.
The song that you're going to do for us right now, is that from one of the musicals?
No, this is a song that a friend of mine, Jimmy Stein, and I wrote many years ago.
Evita right now
yes,
on
doing
Broadway.
Che and Evita.
That's nice.
Very proud of him.
Yes.
But this is more what I'm doing. I'm playing at the Club Casablanca, a private club, and I do more this kind of thing right now on my own.
What is the name of your song?
It's called Back to Dreams.
Go ahead, it's all yours. Please welcome once again Jimmy Martin.
Here I am, back to dreams. dreams again. Ladies of love, I am home. Too many dreams have turned to lies, while others have turned to stone. Countless visions, they are lost in time. No more can I be alone. So here I am, back to dreams again. I'm a dreamer without any home. She said she was going away from me, but I never thought that she would. Well, now she is gone and I'm all alone, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So here I am, back to dreams again. Ladies of love, I am home. Too many dreams have turned to lies, while others have turned to stone. Countless visions, they are lost in time. No more can I be alone. So here I am back to dreams again. I'm a dreamer without any home. I'm a dreamer without any home.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. The Knight Henley Band combines the talents of two songwriters, Lonnie Knight and Mark Henley. Lonnie Knight is a guitarist and a singer who has released 2 solo albums, and he is also the session guitarist at Sound 80 Recording Studios in Minneapolis. And Mark Henley has written tunes that have been recorded by, among others, Michael Johnson and Gene Cotton. The first song that they're going to be doing for us tonight is written by Mark Henley, and we'll feature him on the lead vocals. It's a song called She Gets Lonely. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the Knight Henley Band.
Thinking about it, her poor heart breaks in two. She gets hungry for love and laughter. She gets lonely, and I want to tell her not to worry. Take her in my arms, but there's another one you used to gets lonely. Something about it in her eyes when she looks my way. She could take it or do without it. She is longing for another day. She gets tired of the same old places, and on her way back home, she remembers how good love can be, and she gets lonely. she looks my way. She could take it or do without it. She is longing for another day. She gets lonely thinking about it. Her poor heart breaks in two when she remembers how good love can be. She gets lonely. She remembers how good love can be, and she gets lonely.
The band will be back with us a little later on with another song. Right now, Guy Paul is a popular Twin Cities actor who has played a wide range of characters, from Don Quixote in Man of La Mancha to a fading ballerina in A Little Tin Soldier. He's here tonight along with his accompanist, Gene Patterson, to do a couple of songs from his Noel Coward one-man show, which is called Noel Coward's Creatures. Please welcome Guy Paul with some advice that my mother never took.
Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. The profession is overcrowded and the struggle's pretty tough. And admitting the fact she's burning to act, that isn't quite enough. She has nice hands to give the wretched girl her due, but don't you think her bust is too developed for her age? I repeat, Mrs. Worthington, sweet Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Regarding yours, dear Mrs. Worthington, of Wednesday the 23rd, although your baby may be keen on a stage career, how can I make it clear that this is not a good idea? For her to hope, dear Mrs. Worthington, is on the face of it absurd. Her personality is not, in reality, exciting enough, inviting enough for this particular sphere. Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. She's a bit of an ugly duckling, you must honestly confess, and the width of a seat would surely defeat her chances for success. It's a loud voice, and though it's not exactly flat, she'll need a little more than that to earn a living wage. On my knees, Mrs. Worthington, please, Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Though they said at the School of Acting she was lovely as Peer Gynt, I'm afraid on the whole an ingenue role would emphasize her squint. She's a big girl, and though her teeth are fairly good, she's not the type I ever would be eager to engage. No more buts, Mrs. Worthington. Nuts, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. Don't put your daughter on the stage, Mrs. Worthington. Don't put your daughter on the stage. One look at her bandy-legged should prove she doesn't stand a chance. In addition to which, the son of her can neither sing nor dance. She's a vile girl, an uglier than mortal sin. One look at her has put me in a tearing bloody rage. That sufficed, Mrs. Worthington. Christ, Mrs. Worthington, don't put your daughter on the stage. Thank you. Thank you. Believe me, I worked in a children's theater company, John Donahue's children's theater company, for about 6 years, and I know whereof he speaks. This next tune, I think, would benefit by a little bit of atmosphere. This one takes place in an English gentleman's club, very much decorated with oak-paneled walls, sporting prints, a roaring fire, overstuffed red leather armchairs, and rather solicitous butlers in attendance. that we read about and may have been misled about in memory has kept itself intact. Though Pakisab traditions may have cracked and thinned, the good old Indian Army's still a fact. That famous monumental man, the officer and gentleman, can still recall the glories of Bombay or Kathmandu. In certain clubs you still can glimpse matured or embryonic blimps, vivaciously speculating as to what became of who. They order pints and call for chota pegs, an Indian drink, and drain their reminiscence to the dregs. Whatever became of old Boozy? I haven't seen him for a year. Is it true that young Forbes had to marry that floozy he met in the Vale of Kashmir? Have you had any word of that chap in the third? Was it Sotheby, Cedric, or Sim? He was stationed in Simla. Or was it Bengal? Well, I know he got blind at a ball in Nepal and wrote several four-letter words on the wall. I wonder what happened to him. Whatever became of old Shelley? Is it true that young Briggs was cashiered for riding quite nude on a push bike through Delhi the day the new viceroy appeared? Well, they say that young Lees had a go of DTs, and his hopes of promotion are slim. Well, according to Stubbs, who's a bit of a louse, the silly young rider went out of the South and took two old tarts in the government house. I wonder what happened to him. One must admit that, by and large, upholders of the British Raj don't shine in conversation as a breed. Though Indian Army officers could read a bit, their verbal wit has rather run to seed. Their splendid insularity and roguish jocularity that echoed through the empire when Victoria was queen can still be found in certain bars, in restaurants and dining cars, upholding the old traditions in the way they've always been. Though worlds may change and nations disappear, above the shrieking chaos you will hear.
Whatever became of old Tucker? Have you had any word of young Mills, who ruptured himself at the end of a chucker and had to be sent to the hills? Have you had any news of that bloke in the blues? Was it Prosser or Pycroft or Pym? Well, they had him chucked out of the club in Bombay, for apart from his mess bills exceeding his pay, he took to pig sticking in quite the wrong way. I wonder what happened to him.
Whatever became of old Archie? I hear he departed this life after rounding up 10 sacred cows in Karachi to welcome the governor's wife. Remember young Phipps, who had very large hips, and whose waist was excessively slim? Well, it seems that some doctor in Washington Square gave him hormone injections to strengthen his hair, and he grew something here, and he grew something there. I wonder what happened to her. Him!
Thank you, Guy. Thank you. Guy Paul is currently playing Frank Butler, if you can believe that, out at Chanhassen Dinner Theater in Annie Get Your Gun. Right now, I would like to welcome back the Knight Henley Band with a song that was written this time by Lonnie Knight, who is also going to be featured on the lead vocals. This is a song called Walk On Through. Once again, please welcome the Knight Henley Band.
For my father's eldest boy, with a bottle of whiskey in my mouth, and my kind of joy. I can still hear him screaming out the back door, "Kid, you're a shiftless son of a gun." Well, it might have been right, but he never realized I was having me some fun, some fun. an appetite as big as a knife and $1.50 to burn. I was caught between my wildest dreams and what's left of reality. Everybody standing in line and shaking their heads at me. Just let me walk on through. Just let me walk on through. They nailed me out in the alley last time I was passing by, with a heavy hand of kindness and a jingle in their eye. They robbed me of my innocence, my culture and my bread. They got my buck and a half, but at least they left my head some fun. Spanish wine, Tex-Mex, tequila, and things I shouldn't have known. Cast before my open eyes like a hound dog's favorite bone. You only get one chance to do your dance when you're walking out on the wire. Pour out the gas line, strike up the fire. Just let me walk on through. Just let me walk on through. Lord, at the bottom of the stairs, facing down tomorrow with a bullwhip and a chair. Is it any wonder why I'm starting not to care? Walking blindfolded in the lines that appear. Just let me walk on through. Just let me walk on through. Just let me walk on through.
Thank you. Thank you. That's our show for this evening. I would like to thank my guests in Night Henley Band, Guy Paul, George Leighton, and Jimmy Martin. Next week on Night Times Variety, my guests are going to be gospel singer Sam Davis and the Gospel Ensemble and vocalist Linda Dallaire Peterson. So I'll see you next week. Also tune in tomorrow night for Night Times Magazine. I'm Michelle Barber. Good night. Part of our studio audience, please write Night Times Variety, 1640 Como Avenue, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55108, or call 646-4611 for information.
Night Times is made possible in part by a grant from the Northwest Area Foundation. Night Times is a production of Twin Cities Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.